Hi, my name is Mia. Welcome to Scrubs and Savings. I'm a 21-year-old new grad nurse documenting my personal and financial journey here on YouTube. And today it is officially, well, tomorrow, because I'm filming this the day before I upload. Tomorrow is officially my 1-year anniversary on YouTube, and I decided that I wanted to do a little Q&A to celebrate this pretty big milestone, to be honest. Now, I only have a few categories of questions to go through. I have questions about personal finance, my personal life, as well as YouTube. And to be honest, I have no answers prepared, so this is going to be pretty chatty. So I think the personal finance questions should go first because my channel is first and foremost a personal finance channel. So the first question is, did you try other budgeting platforms or apps before settling on YNAB? When I first started budgeting, I used Google Sheets in 2021. I think I'm going to pop up some little screenshots of what I started out with. In 2021, I made a cute little Google spreadsheet of my own, and then I used a different one in 2022, and then in 2023, I purchased a pretty cute budget tracker from Etsy, and then sometime in December of 2024, I became obsessed with watching the YNAB Budget With Me videos, and I just love the community, and I just decided to try out, and it has stuck with me for over a year, and I have no intentions of trying another platform. The next question is, what do you feel is hard for a person in their 20s currently in terms of building wealth? There's only a few things that popped up into my mind. The first thing is, I think that generally speaking, a lot of people in their 20s don't really know what to do with their life, so they're kind of just trying out jobs and seeing what sticks, and having a horrible job market does not help with that, and a lot of young people are kind of forced to sacrifice whatever their dreams may be just to get money into their wallets, which people have to do what they have to do. And then I think the cost of living crisis that's happening all over the world, and I don't know if it's especially in America, but I know it's happening in many places where the cost of almost everything that we need has significantly increased over the past few years, does not help with building wealth, because if you have to spend more, you can't save as much. And then a couple of the other things I thought of were the cost of student loans and how, again, college is becoming increasingly more expensive to attend. And if you go your whole life being expected to go to college and you can't afford it, you kind of have to take on student loans, and those interest rates are not cute. And then the last thing that is very current is, of course, social media. The lighting keeps going crazy, so we're gonna do our best. But Kara Nicole had a great video called Social Media is Rotting Your Brain and Your Wallet, and social media used to be about connecting with your friends and meeting new people and sharing what you love, and now we are basically being fed advertisements and influencer sponsorships to buy a whole bunch of things. And I know for me, growing up, I didn't really look to celebrities for my fashion inspiration or anything. It was just the YouTubers I watched, and I'm sure that plenty of young people have experienced the same thing, and a lot of financial issues can come from comparing yourself to other people, and social media is like that times 1 billion or 7 billion, because we have access to almost every single person's life, whether we like it or not, and it's super easy to compare yourself to others, covet what they have, and purchase it to become like them, whether it's just a little cute top that you've seen, or all the way to a certain type of house that they have, a huge extravagant lifestyle, and other things like that. And I know that I have to be very conscious of what I consume on social media, because it is quite natural for us to compare, and I know that I tend to want to buy things because the content creators I watch use and love those things, and since there's like a parasocial relationship between them and I feel like I know them in some sense and trust their opinion on different items, but it takes a very conscious effort to not act on those impulses or thoughts that I have of purchasing those items or even coveting a lifestyle that I don't even particularly want. I had to move the camera because it is getting very sunny where I was facing, but the question was, do I plan on retiring early? And if yes, what is the net worth you want to achieve before retiring? I do plan on retiring early. That's why I save and invest so much of my money, but I don't have a particular number that or net worth that I would like to reach because I don't really know how much my lifestyle is going to really cost. I think I'm going to get a better gauge of how much life really costs once I move out. And even then, I feel like there are a lot of variables that come into play in regards to my future expenses. I do eventually want to have kids, so that of course increases my expenses. I would love to support my family in the Philippines, which also increases my expenses. So there's plenty of variables at play on how much I want to spend in the future. So I'm not really focused on building up or focusing on a certain number, net worth, invested goal, but instead working on the basics of just saving and investing, living on less than what I make, and trust that when I get older I will figure out what I want my life to really look like and how much it costs to live that life. We're probably going to be traveling back and forth between these two spots because the lighting keeps changing. But the last personal finance question is, let's say you have enough money to retire in the next 5 years. What would you do? Continue working? Pursue a different career? And of course, there are plenty of other options that I could do. I can't believe I already had to change the angle, but I do think that if I had the ability to retire in 5 years, I don't think I would stop working. I would likely go to part-time hours and pursue different endeavors in my community. I would love to volunteer more often. When I was younger, I would always volunteer at the library every Saturday, which I love being at the library and I enjoy volunteering with children, and being part of their children's programs really brought a lot of joy into my life. I would also love the skill set that I've learned from my education for good, and I know that there's a couple of free clinics that are always looking for medical professionals to volunteer at. I also think I would just like to not work all the time, maybe be more flexible with where I work, maybe not pursue a nursing job that pays me the most, but rather brings me much more fulfillment and allows me to have a greater impact on people. But besides my volunteer and work endeavors, of course, I would love to travel. For those of you that have been watching my videos, you know that is a big value of mine, and I would love the opportunity to travel more often or travel for longer periods of time, especially to visit my family in the Philippines. And I'm assuming that if I were able to retire in 5 years, that I would not have to worry about the money aspect of traveling. Essentially, what I would do if I was able to retire in the next 5 years, I would definitely go part-time. I would be more involved in my community and I would travel. And if I were to have the money to retire again, I would hopefully own a home and have a couple of pets in the house that I could take care of. Now we're going to move on to the personal questions. The first personal question is, would you like to move to a different country later in life? And the answer is no. I love where I live. I'm close to family, I'm close to friends, and it definitely suits the lifestyle I want to live. I love the weather most of the time. I love the 4 seasons. I think it's the right fit for me right now, but if I don't feel comfortable with the country's policies and the direction that it's going in, I could see myself moving because of those reasons. It was getting a little too dark in that corner. But the next question is, what are your plans when you graduate? And I think it goes with the question, what is your preferred specialty in nursing? So today is actually my official graduation day. I am no longer considered a student anymore, which is incredible. I don't have to think about school all the time anymore. But my plan is, so first we are celebrating that huge accomplishment of graduating from college, and then Nick and I are going on a graduation trip to get some rest and relaxation before we get into the next phase of our lives. And so once we get back, I have to study for the boards, which in the United States is the NCLEX. So I will study for that, hopefully pass, and I was offered a job at my current job, which is in a birthing center, to become a labor and delivery nurse. And then for the next year, I will still be living in my parents' house because it just makes the most sense financially. And then I will move out to be closer to work and closer to the city in general. And we will see what happens from there. The next question has to do with my boyfriend, and it is, does your boyfriend use YNAB? He does use YNAB. He started getting into it this December, and he is very much enjoying it, and he really likes budgeting when I'm around him, and we actually did that today during our little morning date, which was so much fun, and it's just been so sweet sharing something that I really enjoy with him, and hopefully we will end up budgeting on YNAB together. The next question is, what is your brother studying in school? And I don't know if you can hear what's going on behind me. You probably can. I'm so sorry. But my brother is older than me, so he has already graduated from college, and I don't feel particularly comfortable sharing what he does for a living because that is his business. The next question is, how old is your cute dog? And I actually have 2 little white dogs. The oldest one is Milo, and he is a now 12-year-old Maltese. And then my other dog, the younger one, his name is Duke, and he is a 6-year-old cockapoo. And the last personal question is, what historical figure or famous individual inspires you the most in life and why? I don't think I really have any idols in that regard other than Jesus Christ because I am Catholic. The people that inspire me aren't famous. I'm really inspired by my mom, and I've been inspired by a lot of the faculty members at the nursing school that I went to, and I think being with them really helps ground me in a way that a famous person can't. And all of the last questions are going to be related to YouTube. So the first one is, did you face any problems with your family and friends when you started YouTube? I didn't, because none of them knew about it for a while. None of my friends know about it. So I told Nick when I started in May, and then my parents recently found out that I started a YouTube channel, and the 3 of them are very supportive of me and doing something that I enjoy, which is very, very lovely. And maybe eventually I'll tell my friends, but I think that will come up when it comes up. The next question is, will you make videos about different topics in the future? And I feel like I've kind of already branched out of the personal finance niche a little bit with my vlogs. I haven't really been vlogging recently, but that's not part of my answer to the question. But I think, yes, I will eventually venture out into different topics, not in like a sit down sense version that I do for my personal finance videos, other than, my monthly resets. But I do think I want to start creating some more like creative vlogs that are focused around something that I'm interested in, especially because I am getting into reading again. But I don't think I'm going to talk about my books in my to be read list or like book reviews. I'm really into like personal finance and productivity and psychology books, and there are a few that have really impacted my life, and I would love to center a couple of vlogs around how I've actually implemented the lessons that I've learned from different books into my life, because I think it is really easy for YouTubers to say that you should implement certain tactics to become more productive, and they kind of just talk the talk and don't really show you how they, or if they even walk the walk. So I think that would be a really fun way to show you guys another one of my interests. The next question is, what advice would you give someone starting YouTube today? And I think it is just to create content that you actually enjoy. I don't really care about if you're in this to start money or if you're doing it just for fun, but I think that with any new hobby or side hustle, you should try and do something that you actually enjoy and can remain consistent with. And I honestly think that's my biggest advice if you're just doing this for joy. I don't really have any advice for if you want to become monetized or for getting a lot of growth, because I have not had either of those things. I have been doing this for a year and I'm not monetized yet. And I'm coming from a place where if I make money from this, that would be great so I can achieve some financial goals. But if not, I'm going to continue making videos like I have been for the past year. The next question is, do you plan on doing collaborations with others? And the answer is no, unless I actually am friends with these creators and I think we could make high quality content together. But I want whoever I may add on to the channel or show on the channel to be an authentic friend and not just someone that I'm going to make a video with just to increase my view count. The next question is, do you plan on doing paid promotions on your channel? And I probably will, but I think since this is not my main source of income, nor do I ever want it to be, I want to be able to achieve all of my financial goals, or like the main ones I want to focus on with my work income, and anything that I may possibly earn from my channel would just allow me to achieve those goals faster. And I don't want to be inauthentic, for example, by promoting brands that I don't use or don't believe in the mission of, just to make money. And I think it would be a disservice to my audience for me to use whatever platform I have to promote something that I don't really care for. The next question is, do you make money off of this channel? And like I said before, I do not, but I'm almost about to get monetized. I still have like 800 watch hours to go, which is still a lot of watch hours. It's incredible to me how fast some people get monetized, but that has not been my journey. And then the last question is, what's to come for the channel? And honestly, you guys, I have a whole bunch of ideas of videos that I want to make. I know I'll continue to do the personal finance videos just because I love talking about personal finance. I love being transparent with my money, and maybe be a good influence on the people that watch me. And it's just something that I really enjoy talking about. But I have ventured into productivity content and lifestyle content just a little bit. And honestly, those are just to keep me accountable to myself. They don't really get many views, which is perfectly fine, but I have been enjoying watching my old videos back, and like seeing where I was at even just a year ago is completely different to where I am now, and I want to continue documenting my journey, not just for you guys, but also for myself. And then so I will continue making those videos, and like I was saying before, I would really love to have videos talking about the lessons that I have learned from books, but in more of a vlog style manner, where I show you actually how I use the lessons from the book rather than just telling you about them, because that just does not really resonate with me whenever I watch those. Like, so basically I will continue what I've been posting, but I would love to make some more like focused vlogs talking about what lessons I've learned from different books and how I actually implement those in my life. And I am considering doing a couple of series as my life changes. For example, I plan on doing a little vlog series called the Postgrad Diaries, where I have more focused vlogs again about how talking about my life as a new grad nurse, or even just someone who's recently graduated college and is really trying to figure out their way in the world. So, of course, I'll be talking about my experiences as a new grad nurse, because the first year, what they say is that the first year of nursing is the hardest. I would also love to talk about how I am building new routines and habits into my life, because life as a student, of course, looks different when you're working full time. I want to talk about how I'm making new friends, and the one thing that I know I really have to focus on before I move out is learning how to cook, which I feel kind of embarrassed by. Like, I know how to make a quesadilla or, a grilled cheese, but I would like to make proper meals for myself, especially because I want to start eating healthier, and I'm going to have to make my own food when I move out. I cannot rely on my mom. So that's definitely something I want to document and show you guys. And I would love to look back and laugh at how little I knew and appreciate how much I've grown. And so look out for those videos. I don't really know when I'm going to start this series, because I really want to focus on studying for however long I need to study for the NCLEX for. And I really do hope to make those videos as high of quality as possible and become a little more creative with my vlogs. I kind of want to watch a few videos on how to make vlogs more interesting or have a little bit more of a storyline. And I was about to say how I'm going to make my videos more aesthetically pleasing, but I don't think being aesthetically pleasing is worth the sacrifice of making my life look fake and inauthentic. And I don't, the issue that I've been seeing with being aesthetically pleasing is that people's lives end up looking the same in content, and then there just breeds some jealousy and comparison, and I just want to be authentic and real about how my life actually looks. I'm really excited about how the channel is going to change and grow, and it definitely will, because I am going to change and grow throughout hopefully the many years that I have this channel. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. I just wanted to say thank you for all of you who have supported me, my channel, and my videos for however long you have been supporting. I really appreciate you all, and I hope to create more videos for both you and I to enjoy. So, thank you for watching this video all the way through. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.